What is up, YouTube? It's your boy C9 Kenma. Today, for you guys, I'm going to do a new series on patch notes, and I'm going to call it Short and Sweet. Like, the meaning of this video, I just want you to know what is up with these patch notes. Like, so there's other people like Fan and stuff that have put out a more in-depth like thing if you want a longer video. I'm just going to try to get you in and out so you don't get bored and you just know what's up already. You'll watch this video, you'll get the gist of the patch, and you'll be informed. So that's what I'm trying to do. So let's get into it. Alright, so Battlefield of Eternity. Immortals just scale better, so the game won't last as long. Garden of Terror. You can W from the plants onto the core, so the game won't last as long. Infernal Shrines. The Punishers are a little bit weaker, and the Skeleton Defenders pretty much got changed, so you have to kill 40 instead of 30, and PvE talents such as Leoric and Joanna's talents do not work on the defenders anymore. Same thing with like Rexar, so it will be fair play to anyone that can just wave clear these. AoE talents like Flame Strike are still going to be great in this. So Sky Temple, you cannot have 3 temples active anymore. So pretty much whenever there was 3 temples, whoever's ahead almost always would win at that point. So I think they're trying to give a little bit more comeback factor on that map, which I'm totally fine with. I'm not going to go over the medic in this patch because I don't know if she's OP. I'll do a video on her later. Butcher. They changed his E talent that no one ever takes. So this doesn't really matter. It can be a buff and a nerf. Like, it's a buff if you're doing it to a low HP target, and it's a nerf if you're doing it to a full HP target. So there you go. Lamb of the Slaughter, there's just new art. So that's cool. Pretty much Butcher's in the same exact spot. Zeratul. Zeratul got his AD was nerfed, his base AD. That doesn't really change much. Wormhole has a 2 seconds, so that's pretty big, you know. But the huge thing, Void Prison, casting range reduced by 50%. This is going to make Zeratul actually like a lot harder to play. He was already hard to play at the highest level. You could tell like watching a good Zeratul compared to like a bad Zeratul. Like if you watch like a Zuna or iDream play Zeratul, it looks like a completely different hero compared if you watch like someone like Jaximus play Zeratul, you know what I'm saying? So Zeratul is only going to be played now by people who are really good at him, I think. He's not going to be first banned and first picked anymore. So look out for that. Abbathur. Locust will not that's just a quality of life change. So you can consider it like kind of a buff because you don't know where he's at, but I think it's kind of a nerf because now you can't push the lane really hard if you want to. Nazebo, Corpse Spiders. So they nerfed his spider damage and leaping spiders. No one really took leaping spiders anymore. They took either the frog spawn into spiders or they took the specialized toxin to make their ult hit harder, but either way, Nazebo was seeing a lack of play. Getting a little bit more vision on your Ravenous Spirit's not going to do anything to change that. I think Nazebo's not going to be seen hardly ever at all anymore in competitive play. Tassadar. Tassadar got changed a lot. So your shield is nerfed on yourself. So Tassadar will be easier to kill. His ult got nerfed like a motherfucker. So it looks like I think they changed the Dark Archon, but I guess they took out, so he can still be a beast at level 20, I guess, if they didn't nerf Dark Archon. It just looks like they only nerfed Archon now, so he'll still be a god at level 20, but he'll be a lot easier to kill. This is what I saw that was actually really huge here. The Leeching Plasma. So in Korea, in China, Leeching Plasma is taken on Illidan Abbathur comps, and this is a huge buff. 10% more lifesteal on an Illidan. So imagine giving an Illidan 30% more lifesteal every 5 seconds on a cooldown. This is actually a pretty huge buff to Tassadar, Illidan, Abbathur comps. But that's the only time I think you're ever going to see Tassadar. So unless the team's running Illidan, Abbathur, do not expect to see Tassadar ever again. Taranta. So Taranta got his Sharing Arrows buffed. I don't know why. It was already it was already fine. Now, like, you could compare taking Searing Arrows to Focus Attack, because you would do two Searing Arrow procs would be 5% more damage than one Focus Attack. but now it's a lot more damage by 2, so I think you're going to always take Searing Arrows over Focus Attack if you're opting to go for an auto attack damage build at level 4 talent. Shadow Stock got changed and it heals now, which is really cool. This is probably going to put Taranta in a spot where she's picked a lot more instead of just like in blow up comps. And I think instead of just being, I think she's actually going to be, depending on how much this heals for, she'll probably be really OP. So I expect to see a lot more Taranta in the next patch. Chen, I didn't really go through this too much, but I think he still sucks. Diablo still sucks. ETC, so ETC got a good buff. You know, they made his stun, they made it have an extra 0.25 seconds, gave him a little HP, gave him a little mana cost decrease, gave him a little buff on his heal, but he's still going to be in the same exact place. Even with these buffs, he's going to still be in the same exact place he was last patch. A real niche pick where he's good if the enemy team cannot stop his mosh pit. That's the only time you're ever going to see ETC. I don't think you'll ever see him anymore. Because Stage Dive is just too... He's not a threat with Stage Dive because he doesn't have the laning prowess that he used to have. So all this changes does not change that. He still lacks a ton of damage that he used to have, and he will only be played to get good mosh pits off. Johanna. Night Takes Pawn got nerfed pretty good. This is a step in the right direction. PvE talents at level 1 are stupid. Like, you know it's stupid when every tank in the game, like, takes Regen Master, and she doesn't have to. Like, that's just stupid, right? I don't know why. I think it's still too OP. 300% in 3 seconds. Like, it's still too OP. They should just take the stun off of it 100%. Blessed Shield. I think this is actually a bigger change than her PvE talent change. 2 to 1.5 seconds, and then 1 to 0.75 seconds on the 2 additional targets. Like, blowing someone up or chain seeing someone off 2 seconds compared to 1.5 seconds is pretty huge. Like, her ult only stuns for the duration of like a Mirrodin stun now. So just think about that. It won't really have that like super long stun range. And I think this is actually a really good nerf because it was the range on her Blessed Shield was too much for 2 seconds in my opinion. So I like all these nerfs to her. All of it's good. Leoric, Osis, I don't know how to say that shit. The renewal talent. Okay, see, this doesn't matter because if you know how to play Leoric, you should never be taking that talent anyway. Skeletal Swing Q, damage decrease. See, this is a step in the right direction, and the reason they decreased this is because they gave him a built-in PvE talent on his Q. So nerfing the damage on his Q is going to nerf the PvE damage on his Q as well. I think that the W build now at 13 and 16 is almost going to be pretty standard because I really don't see you taking double swing on him anymore. Maybe the healing swing if you need to res a lot, but I'm pretty sure 13 and 16 we're going to see a lot of W build coming back. Miradonis, Haymaker, no one cares, no one uses that. Rexar. So I see a lot of the Rexar players take this Spirit of Prey talent to make your Hawk do a shit ton of damage to PvE. So I like that they nerfed this. This is good. I personally think they should stop putting in so many damn PvE talents because I would like the game to be more PvP based than PvE based. Like, no one enjoys PvE in this game. Like, remember Abbathur with like promote? That was the stupidest shit ever. So the less PvE, the better in my opinion. All the Misha changes, like I don't play Rexar, so we'll have to wait and see if she's any good. Okay, Stitches. This is huge. I think, let's just take a look at this, right? Health increase. He gets 30 health per level, and then he gets level 1. This is what you get. Hungry for more. Look at this shit. 30 health per globe. So, late game, if you actually, are on a stacking map, like Dragonshire or fucking Spider, and you actually stack him, he can have, 50 globes late game. And he will have so much fucking HP that he is going to be the tankiest. What wrecks HP in this game? Giant Killer. He is good against almost every hero in the game that has Giant Killers. Sergeant Hammer, Rainer. These are heroes that Stitches excels at being good against, and they mana reduction on everything for no reason. He didn't have mana problems. Gorge, they buff Gorge, but no one's gonna take Gorge anyway. This is the other big buff. 24 to 20 seconds. So Devour, I believe, heals you for 10% of your max HP. And now that you're going to be stacking HP, you're going to be healing yourself a shit ton every 20 seconds. So this is a huge buff. I think I think Stitch is 100% going to be back in the meta after this patch. I don't know how OP he will be. He might even be too OP, like, to be honest. Like, they might have buffed him too much. We'll have to wait and see. I think that's it. So, let's go back. Bam. So, that was short and sweet patch notes. This is the Medic Lieutenant Morales patch. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be on the lookout next time. Peace.